You are 29 years old. You weren't recruited from the army or the mines. You were plucked from the Kim Il-sung University's elite linguistics program because you have a memory like a steel trap and a face that people forget 5 seconds after they look at it. In Pyongyang, being forgettable is a superpower. You are the personal assistant to the marshal. You don't carry a rifle. You carry a leather-bound folder and a portable ashtray lined with velvet so that the sound of a falling ember never interrupts a thought. Your day doesn't start with an alarm. It starts with the sound of a heavy door locking behind you. You live in a luxury apartment in the Forbidden City, a place with Italian marble and French wine, but you haven't seen the sun from a sidewalk in 3 years. You are the one who ensures the chair he sits on has been wiped for biological traces. You are the one who carries the private mobile phone that connects to nowhere and everywhere. The job isn't about organization, it's about anticipation. You have to know he wants a cigarette before he even feels the craving. You have to know which general is lying about crop yields before the general even opens his mouth. You stand 3 paces to the left, always in the peripheral vision, never in the way. You watch the notebooks. Every official around him carries a small black book, scribbling every word he says. Your job is to watch the pens. If a pen stops moving while the marshal is speaking, that man is exhausted, or he is arrogant. Both are fatal. You see the side of him the world never gets to photograph. You see him at 2 a.m. staring at satellite maps of cities he will never visit, his face illuminated by the blue light of a monitor. He doesn't look like a god then. He looks like a man holding the leash of a monster he's afraid to let go of. You bring him tea. You don't speak. You wait until he acknowledges you. Sometimes he asks your opinion on a minor detail. The color of a new housing project's roof, the wording of a telegram to a fading ally. You answer in 4 words or less. Anything more is an opinion, and opinions are dangerous things to own in this hallway. You send money home. Not in envelopes, but in gifts from the Central Committee. Your parents now live in a house with a heated floor and a television that shows more than 2 channels. They think you are a diplomat. They think you are important. You know you are a ghost. You are the man who wipes the fingerprints off a glass so foreign spies can't steal a DNA sequence. You are the man who handles the royal economy, moving millions of dollars in luxury watches and Swiss chocolate through ports that don't exist on maps. You are a line item in a budget for a country that is starving, and your only job is to make sure the hunger never reaches the inner circle. Month 18 happens on a train. The green armored cars are rattling through the countryside at 60 kilometers an hour. Inside, the air conditioning is humming, and the smell of expensive cognac is thick. The marshal is meeting with a provincial secretary. The secretary is sweating. It's winter and the car is cool, but the man's collar is soaked. He's explaining why the new power station in the north is 3 months behind schedule. He blames the rain. He blames the sanctions. He blames the workers. You are standing by the door, holding a fresh pack of 729 cigarettes. You see the marshal's eyes drift to the window. He isn't looking at the scenery. He's looking at his own reflection. He asks a single question. Is the rain heavier in the north than it is in Pyongyang? The secretary freezes. He stammers. He tries to find a clever answer. There isn't one. The marshal looks at you. He doesn't say a word, but you know the look. You step forward and take the secretary's notebook. You hand the man a glass of water. It's a gesture of mercy that everyone in the room knows is a death warrant. The air in this room is thin, but the stories are deep. If you want to see what happens when the mask slips, hit subscribe and join the inner circle for the next drop. The secretary is removed at the next station. Not by guards, but by assistants from a different department. You sit back down at your desk in the communications car and log the meeting. You don't write that the man was arrested. You write that the position is vacant. This is the on-the-spot judgment the newspapers talk about. It isn't a trial. It's an erasure. You are the one who deletes the name from the phone directory. You are the one who ensures his family's ration cards are deactivated by morning. The fear isn't a loud thing. It's the sound of a pen scratching on paper. It's the way people stop breathing when the marshal pauses to take a breath. You realize that your proximity to power doesn't make you powerful. It just makes you the first person who will die if something goes wrong. If the cognac is too warm, it's your fault. If the satellite link flickers during a missile test, it's your fault. You live in a state of hypervigilance that makes your nerves feel like they're made of glass. You see his sister, Kim Jong Un. She is the only person who doesn't walk on eggshells. When she enters the room, the temperature drops 10 degrees. She looks at you not as a person, but as a tool that might be getting dull. You realize she is the violence department, and the marshal is the tenderness department. He smiles and shakes hands with farmers, and she stands in the back, making a list of who didn't look happy enough. You are the bridge between them. You are the one who has to make sure the lists match the reality. Year 3. You are in a hotel in Vladivostok. The biological security protocol is in full effect. You are in the bathroom of the presidential suite, scrubbing the tiles with a chemical that destroys every trace of human DNA. You have already packed the marshal's waste into a lead-lined container to be flown back to Pyongyang. The Americans, the South Koreans, the Chinese, they all want his blood. They want to know if his heart is failing, if his kidneys are leaking, if the weight is a symptom or a choice. Your job is to make sure they find nothing but the smell of bleach. You feel like a janitor for a god. But then you see him in the other room, arguing with a Russian diplomat about rail gauges. He is sharp, he is funny, he is terrifying. He quotes a Western philosopher and then threatens to turn a city into a sea of fire in the same sentence. You realize the fear isn't just about the camps. It's about the fact that no one knows which version of him they are going to get. You are the only one who sees the transition. You see the mask slip on and off like a theater prop. You receive a letter from your sister. She is in the elite medical school now. She tells you she has everything she needs. She thanks the marshal for his boundless grace. You read between the lines. She's terrified. She knows that her position, her food, and her life depend entirely on your ability to stay in favor. If you trip in the hallway, she loses her career. If you are purged, she is sent to the mines. You are the anchor for your entire bloodline, and the sea is getting rougher. The on-the-spot judgments are becoming more frequent. He is frustrated with the economy. He is frustrated with the cowardice of the older generals. You stand in a field during a drone test. The drone fails to launch. It just sits on the grass, smoking. The general in charge of the program looks at you. He is begging with his eyes. He wants you to say something, to distract him, to offer a way out. You look at the ground. You cannot help a drowning man when you are barely treading water yourself. The marshal looks at the smoking drone, then at the general. He doesn't yell. He just asks for a cigarette. You step forward, light it, and step back. The foundation is rotten, the marshal says. That's it. 4 words. The general is replaced before the cigarette is finished. You are the one who has to call the succession division to find a new general. You are the one who sees the man's name being crossed out with a heavy black marker. It's not murder. It's a clerical error that results in a disappearance. Year 5. You are 34 years old. You look 50. Your hair is thinning, and your hands have developed a tremor that you can only hide by keeping them clasped behind your back. You have seen things that would make a sane man scream for a week. You have seen the lists. You have seen the final orders. You have watched the heart of the nation eat a $500 steak, while the reports on his desk described a famine in the southern provinces. You aren't a person anymore. You are a set of protocols in a suit. You have lost the ability to have a conversation that isn't a report. When you look at your mother, you don't see a parent. You see a liability. When you look at the marshal, you don't see a leader. You see a storm that you have to navigate every single hour of every single day. The fear has moved from the outside to the inside. It's in your marrow. The worst part isn't the threat of death. It's the realization that you have become the thing you used to be afraid of. You are the one who filters the truth. You are the one who makes sure the marshal only hears what he wants to hear, which makes the judgments worse, which makes the fear grow, which makes your job harder. It's a closed loop, a snake eating its own tail. You are the one who sharpens the teeth. You stand on the balcony of the Grand People's Study House during a parade. The roar of "Mance" from 100,000 throats is so loud it vibrates in your teeth. You look down at the sea of people, all of them crying, all of them reaching out as if they are trying to touch a god. You know the truth. You know that if the man standing 2 feet in front of you tripped and fell, those same people would be executed for not catching him. You are the only one who knows how fragile the whole thing is. You are the one holding the glue. That is the job. That has always been the job. You aren't the bodyguard who takes a bullet. You are the assistant who takes the blame. You are the one who lives in a palace and eats like a king, while your soul shrivels into a raisin. And if they let you go tomorrow, if they told you that you were free to walk out the gate and never come back, you wouldn't know where to go. The world outside the perimeter is a geography of ghosts. You belong to the hallway. You belong to the silence. You belong to the marshal. This is the life of the invisible men in Pyongyang. The ones who hold the pens and the ashtrays while the world holds its breath. It's a story of silk cages and gold-plated fear. If this look into the Royal Secretariat hit different, drop a comment and tell me which moment stayed with you. I have more stories from the halls of power coming. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next POV.